Gentlemen, let me ask you something honestly. Do you really believe that at this stage of life, women only want men with overflowing bank accounts, expensive cars, or thick, youthful hair? If that is what you think, pause for a moment. That belief is not reality. It is a story men have been told for decades. And like many stories repeated often enough, it starts to feel true even when it is not. Here is the truth. Most people miss. There is something far more powerful than wealth or appearance, something many men over 60 already possess, but rarely recognize or apply intentionally when it is used correctly. Women, even women much younger, begin responding differently to you. And no, it does not require surgery, luxury status symbols, or miracle supplements. It requires a simple practice that takes roughly 12 minutes a day. Stay with me because I am going to walk you through the exact mindset shift that makes women lean closer, pursue conversation, and compete for your attention while many other men your age keep exhausting themselves trying to win a game designed for younger competitors. But before we continue, let me ask you for something small. If you are serious about rebuilding confidence and attracting women without gimmicks, press the like button, leave a comment below, and tell me where you are watching from. I enjoy seeing men from different parts of the world tuning in and subscribe as well, because every week I share research-based insights most physicians never discuss about attraction, vitality, and sustaining energy and presence after 60 right here on the Stoic Heart, Reggies.com. Now let us dismantle one of the biggest myths. Society loves repeating the idea that once a man passes 60, he becomes invisible to women unless he owns a Ferrari, a yacht, or the fame of a movie star. That narrative is wrong. Completely wrong. I have personally worked with men in their 60s and 70s who had women 20 or even 30 years younger, showing genuine interest in them, not because of their bank balances and not because of cosmetic treatments, but because of something deeper, psychological attraction. The reality is that women are not starving for more young, attractive men. They are overwhelmed by them. What many women crave instead is maturity. They are tired of men, young or old, who feel insecure, needy, or desperate to prove themselves. The advantage you hold already exists. You simply were never taught how to use it. For those who are new here, my name is Lauren Pons. Over the past 5 years, my work has focused on men's health and relationships, helping men rebuild vitality while rediscovering confidence in dating and social life. And here is something many people underestimate. Men past 60 possess a type of attraction power that often goes untapped. Younger men cannot easily replicate it. Why? Because they are still constructing their identity, still chasing approval, still trying to demonstrate their worth. You, on the other hand, have decades of experience behind you. You have built things, lost things, learned from both, and survived challenges that shape character. That depth becomes your advantage. It is the difference between a grounded man and a restless boy. So, what is the principle that shifts attraction so dramatically? It is called outcome independence. When you truly embody it, women sense it immediately. Let me explain the first major mistake many men over 60 make and what to replace it with. Mistake number one, chasing instead of attracting. Many men your age still behave the way they did decades ago. They attempt to impress women, demonstrate desirability, or sometimes display money, hoping it will increase their appeal. From a biological perspective, this often backfires. Women detect desperation quickly. Emotionally, it signals insecurity, and practically, it forces you to spend time and resources proving something that should never need proof. The alternative is developing outcome independence. Instead of pursuing validation, cultivate genuine contentment with yourself and your life. When that internal shift happens, the energy you project changes. Women begin approaching you naturally because confidence without neediness creates a magnetic effect. In a moment, I will explain the simple 12-minute daily practice that trains your mind to develop this state. Mistake number two, attaching your self-worth to a woman's approval. This is the trap most men never recognize. The instant you start asking yourself questions like, Am I still attractive? Or do I still have it? You place your value in someone else's hands. Biologically, that anxiety raises stress hormones, which subtly alters posture, tone, and presence. Emotionally, it feels needy, and socially, it weakens your position before the interaction even begins. From a biological perspective, when you chase approval, your stress hormones increase. That tension leaks into your posture, voice, and body language. Instead of appearing relaxed and grounded, you look anxious. Emotionally, it damages your natural appeal because you start performing rather than simply being yourself. Practically, you begin walking on eggshells, constantly measuring her reactions, and she senses that imbalance immediately. The real solution is separating your value from how she responds. Appreciate your experience, your independence, and the life you have built. When a man carries that kind of internal certainty, women notice it instantly. They see someone who does not require validation, yet is open to connection. That combination is extremely attractive. Mistake number 3 is competing in arenas where you cannot realistically win. Many men in their 60s try to imitate youth culture. They color their hair, buy expensive accessories, or push themselves obsessively in the gym, hoping to look 35 again. Let's be honest, you are not 35 anymore, and that is actually an advantage from a biological standpoint. Women are not wired to pursue a permanently boyish partner. Many are drawn to stability, composure, and emotional steadiness. Emotionally, they feel safer with a man who understands himself and no longer chases approval. Practically, this means you stop wasting money and effort pretending to be younger and instead amplify the strengths that naturally come with maturity. The strategy is simple: stop trying to look younger and start embodying quiet confidence. That calm presence is the energy many women find genuinely compelling. Now let's talk about implementation. How do you develop outcome independence in everyday life? I teach something I call the Indifference Activation Protocol. It requires about 12 minutes each day and is divided into 3 short practices. Step 1 is 3 minutes of contentment rehearsal. Sit quietly and imagine your life exactly as it currently exists. No validation, no romantic attention, no external approval, and allow yourself to feel satisfied with it. The purpose is to train your brain to stop broadcasting emotional neediness. Step 2 is 4 minutes of neutral visualization. Imagine speaking with an attractive woman, but remove any goal from the interaction. No phone number, no date, no outcome. You are simply enjoying conversation. This conditions your mind to remain present instead of calculating strategies. Step 3 is 5 minutes of self-recognition. Reflect on what you have accomplished, the difficulties you have overcome, and the wisdom those experiences created. This is not about boasting or comparison. It is about acknowledging your own value so that confidence becomes stable rather than fragile. Here is the interesting paradox. The less you obsess about attracting women, the more naturally attractive you appear. Consider Frank, one of my clients from New Jersey. He is 68. Instead of trying to impress anyone at a local cafe, he simply relaxed and read a book. Minutes later, a 52-year-old woman initiated a conversation with him. They have now been together for 2 years. What drew her in was not effort, but presence. His attitude communicated, "My life is already full. Your company would simply add to it." That kind of energy attracts attention effortlessly. Do not confuse this with being cold or detached. That is not the goal. The point is to remove desperation because desperation is immediately noticeable. Calm self-assurance, on the other hand, creates curiosity and comfort at the same time. And the best part is that this quality does not require acting. You already possess it. Decades of experiences, successes, mistakes, lessons, and victories have built it inside you. The only barrier is the insecurity or habits that hide it. So here is the truth many men overlook. You are not too old. You are not invisible. You are not past your best years. You are at a stage of life where attraction can operate differently and often more effectively than it does for younger men. All it requires is a mental shift and a shortly practice. Begin tomorrow. Develop outcome independence and observe how women respond differently with curiosity, openness, and respect. You do not need to reinvent yourself. You only need to reveal the man you have already become. If this message resonates with you, press like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from hearing it. And in the comments, tell us what challenge you find most difficult about dating after 60. Every story matters, gentlemen. Life is not about slowly fading into the background. It is about entering each room with calm assurance, knowing you have nothing to prove and everything to experience. Stay grounded, stay confident. And remember, this message comes from the Stoic heart. Now let's continue, because the next idea may change how you see both yourself and attraction entirely. Many men past 60 underestimate the influence of their presence. They have spent decades solving problems, leading families, and building careers, yet forget that presence itself carries weight. Women do not simply respond to words, they respond to how they feel standing near you. When you walk into a room with composure, certainty, and steady energy, you immediately stand apart from the men who appear restless or eager to impress. Silent confidence often communicates more than anything spoken. This is where awareness of energy becomes important. Every interaction between a man and a woman involves an exchange of emotional signals, and many younger women are highly sensitive to those signals. Women notice when a man is genuinely comfortable with himself. They read the signals in your posture, your breathing, and the steadiness in your eyes. That quiet sense of ease creates curiosity. It is not about flashy behavior or clever lines. It comes from being deeply relaxed and authentically connected to who you are. I remind my clients of one simple truth. Your body communicates long before your words do. Before you even say a sentence, a woman has already interpreted your stance, the tone of your voice, the rhythm of your breathing, and the pace of your movements. Those signals speak louder than anything you might say. If you approach with tension, she immediately senses that pressure. But if you approach with calm assurance, her guard naturally lowers. This is not theory, it is basic biology. Human nervous systems mirror each other. When you are relaxed, she feels safer. When you carry anxiety or neediness, she experiences discomfort. That is why outcome independence works at a deeper level. It transforms the emotional signals you send. Once that internal energy changes, your interactions change as well. Let's look more closely at what outcome independence actually does inside the brain. When you stop chasing validation, your dopamine system gradually resets. Instead of relying on external approval, for emotional reward, your mind begins producing steadier internal confidence. I call this self-sourced confidence. It is not motivational hype or a temporary performance. It reflects a genuine shift in your nervous system. Hormonal responses stabilize. Your posture becomes more upright. Your voice naturally slows and eye contact feels stronger and more comfortable. These changes arise when you practice emotional detachment for just 12 minutes each day. Here is another exercise that strengthens this transformation even further. I refer to it as magnetic breathing. Find a quiet place, put a hand on your chest, and inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath briefly for 2 seconds, then release it gradually for 6 seconds. While exhaling, imagine letting go of any tension about being liked or approved of. Silently repeat the phrase, I am already enough. I bring value simply by being myself. Practicing this for 5 minutes every morning improves emotional stability and reinforces the calm presence many women find deeply attractive. Think about the environment women experience today. They are surrounded by constant noise, social media messages, attention from countless men, and endless attempts to impress them. What is rare now is stillness, calm, and authentic presence. That is why a grounded man in his 60s who carries emotional balance can feel remarkably different to them. The effect is not always logical, it is emotional around him. She often feels calmer, more open, and more at ease, which naturally draws her closer. This leads to another important principle called silent leadership. Women often respond strongly to men who lead not through control, but through steady direction and composure. Silent leadership means maintaining emotional stability. You remain calm when situations become chaotic. You listen carefully instead of dominating conversation. You take time to think before acting. You respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. That type of presence signals strength far more clearly than physical dominance ever could. Younger men frequently confuse loudness with authority, but most women intuitively recognize that genuine strength is quiet. It does not demand recognition. It simply exists. When a woman encounters a man who has learned to manage his emotional energy, she often feels drawn to him without immediately understanding why. His presence acts almost like gravity, subtle yet powerful. Gentlemen, the next chapter of your life is not about reclaiming youth. It is about mastering presence. When maturity and presence combine, attraction operates differently. It becomes less about effort and more about authenticity. Instead of forcing outcomes, you allow connection to develop naturally. When a woman feels truly heard, respected, and relaxed in your company, the bond forms at a deeper level than surface charm could ever create. Remember this clearly. Your presence is your power, your calmness is your strength, your wisdom becomes the magnet. When those three elements align, attraction happens without chasing it, conversations become meaningful, eye contact becomes powerful, and even moments of silence feel comfortable. Women recognize when they are in the company of a man who has lived fully, someone who carries strength without arrogance and listens without judgment. In the next part, we will explore something that strengthens all of this even further. It is called emotional mastery, the invisible signal that tells a woman you can handle complexity, emotion, and vulnerability without losing your balance. When she senses that level of steadiness, she stops testing and begins trusting. So stay with me because what comes next will show you how to lead emotionally with clarity, composure, and honesty, qualities that make a man memorable at any stage of safe.